a day. That was, I feel like, the theme song so nice you had to hear it twice, right? Clearly, I am having technology issues today, but thank you so much for joining us. It's actually kind of interesting that I'm having technology issues today because today we are talking all about one of those types of fabrics that is probably the most old school I can think of. The technique goes back centuries, I would say, ages for sure. And yeah, so how about that? We're just longing for a time of maybe simpler things. Today, you've guessed it, we're talking all about batiks. And they are doing some fabulous things with batiks. We're going to talk about what they are, how they're different from traditional quilting cotton, some of the new things that we're seeing in the world of batiks. I've got a beautiful project that you can kind of see behind me made all with batiks. And yeah, I've got a couple of fun facts sprinkled in throughout the show too. So thank you so much for joining us on Live with Gotham Quilts. I'm Allison, and behind the camera making all the magic happen is producer Ken. I guess that is when I don't mess with it. Sometimes I mess with it and then things go a little wonky. But thank you so much for joining us. And if you are watching the replay with us, just give us a comment and so we know that you're on the replay. I'm going to start off, and I'll sprinkle this throughout the show a little bit, but I'm going to start off with a special thank you gift for everyone who is watching the live with us today. We've got a coupon code for you. One of the fabulous things so I'll back up a little bit. We are now on a brand new computer system. Gotham has always been on this computer system, but our sister shop, Tiny Apple, just recently joined. And so what that means is now we can start populating the Gotham site with all kinds of fabulous products, new things that are coming in, new notions, things like that. And so what you might see are some shows like this where we take a deeper dive into a specific thing or a specific type of thing as we port those items over to the Gotham website. So if you head over to gothamquilts.com, you will notice that we are starting to fill it out. It's starting to get some fun things happening. And so as a special thank you for being with us, we just wanted to give you a coupon code. So it's Batik 2026, BATIK 2026, and that will give you 25% off all of our batiks. We've got fabric and then a collection under that has all of our batiks. I'm going to talk about a couple of them today, so you'll definitely see those on the website, but be sure to use that coupon code. And I will say that coupon code you can stack with your Club Gotham discount. So Club Gotham members get a discount on fabric. There's a couple of things that they get discounts on throughout the year all the time, and fabric is one of them. So you can stack that. If you're a Club Gotham member, you can stack that with your 25% off coupon code. And we've got a great question. Kathy asked, how long is the coupon code good for? This is good through Thursday at 11:59, so midnight Central Time. And so Thursday is the 27th, 28th, 29th. It's going to be good through Thursday, January 29th at midnight Central Time. So be sure to use that before then. I will also say that Club Gotham members get a discount on their shipping. You only have to get to $35 and you get free shipping. So if you aren't a Club Gotham member, maybe you'll like what you see with the batiks, and the membership is one of those things that pays for itself. Not only do you get the 10% discount on fabric and the free shipping at $35, but you also get free entry into all of our thread talks. So every month we have a fabulous speaker, and some of those are really good. Like I would say some of the Club Gotham membership, what I've heard the most about it is it encourages you to sign up for thread talks that maybe you might not have necessarily been interested in, but more often than not, people love those little surprise ones. And thank you so much. Oh, that's my mom. Thanks, Mom. It is producer Ken's birthday today. So we are going to talk about batiks, and then we are going to hightail it to a birthday dinner. So thanks for joining us. Okay, let's talk about Batiks. I'm going to move that out of the way. And the coupon code, again, it's Batik, Batik 2026, which brings me to my first fun fact about Batik. And I'm going to look at my notes here so I get it right. But did you know that Batik comes from the Javanese word, two words, amba, meaning to write, and tiki tick, to dot. To write, amba, tick, 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 to write. And so, really, that's what batiks are all about and why they're so interesting. If you haven't worked with batiks, I'm going to get a sample here. And we'll go to the overhead so you can see this. Traditionally speaking, let's see here. It's one of those things you can't talk and chew gum at the same time. We'll make this a little bit more even. Let's do this guy. We'll get rid of you. Okay, so you can see over on the side here, I've got I'm going to flip this over, which brings me to my next fun fact about batiks, is that traditionally made batiks don't have a right side or a wrong side. They work beautifully well on either side. And the reason that that's done is batiks is kind of a resist method, if you think about it. In its simplest terms, a piece of fabric is layered with wax. And the wax is put on the fabric, and anywhere where the wax isn't, the dye adheres. So in this case, what they had done is you could see this beautiful kind of variation of the coloring behind all these words, in that they would first dye this fabric using a method to get kind of this rainbow effect. Then what they would do is rinse out the excess of that dye and then draw on this. I'll get to this joy here. Draw on this or use what they call a chop, TJAP, a chop, to print whatever they want on here. So then in this case, they would have a little block that says joy. More specifically, when you're making this much fabric, you have a big block that says all of these things. And so the wax would go right where you see joy. When the wax is on there and it solidifies, sometimes they'll crumple it up to get kind of a crinkly look, or sometimes they'll leave it nice and flat, and then they'll dye it with the black. So when that wax is melted off, what you'll see is this little joy here. It's really kind of a fascinating process. And so that, because this fabric is dyed through and through, that is why traditionally made batiks don't have a right side or a wrong side. You can use them very interchangeably in your projects. Another fabulous thing about batiks is there is a lot of work that goes into these, from depending on how many different layers of a print that you have, there might be several different chops that go on here. So several different iterations of dyeing and waxing and melting and rinsing, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And so batiks, generally speaking, are a slightly tighter weave than regular quilting cottons. So a lot of times you don't need to size or pre-shrink your fabric, because through that dyeing process and the washing process, that's already been done for you. Now, one thing you do want to probably consider with your batiks is to make sure that they're color fast. And so I don't know that I've heard of this or seen this any more often than other quilting cottons, but because there's enough melting and rinsing and heat in these to really get that fabric or that dye to stick. But some of the colors might bleed a little bit more than others. Reds are always notorious for bleeding, so do watch out for those. But like I say, I haven't seen and I haven't heard of these happening more often in the batiks than other quilting cottons. It's always one of the things that I think quilters probably are the ones who keep color catchers in business for sure. So if you're a fan of color catchers, let me know in the comments here. So in a general sense, that's how batiks are made. Now, the other thing is a lot of the batiks that we get in the quilt store are made in Bali, Indonesia. And so what can determine how much fabric they can get out is the weather, if you can believe it. Batik fabrics are, if you think of like a 12-yard bolt or a 10-yard bolt, just laid out there and big copper chops or stamps going all through the 10 yards of fabric. They need a lot of space. And so oftentimes these fabrics are laid outside and worked on through the dyeing and the wax resist process, which makes it very susceptible to bad weather. When the weather is bad, the batik output is quite a bit less just because there's not enough good weather to get the batiks out there. There are also different methods that you can hand paint. A lot of the quilting cottons that we see, or the batik cottons that we see, are used with those stamps and back before they did that, or if maybe there are smaller quantities, or even if you want to try your own hand at batik making, sometimes there's like a it looks kind of like a pen, basically, where you just draw on the fabric, or an artist draws on the fabric. You don't necessarily need a stamp to go to that effect. So it's really kind of fun. And actually, I will throw on here, if you are interested in learning to make your own batiks, Wax On Batik and Dye Studio has a fabulous blog post that walks you through the basics that you need to know to make your own batiks, even if you're not quite there yet. And that's okay, because it's a lot of process to do this. Even if you're not quite there yet, do check out that blog post, because it really goes into how much heart and effort and love goes into making batik fabrics. So do check that out if you're interested, or if you just want to know a little bit more about batiks. Now, I promise you, I told you we were going to be daydreaming here. And I told you, so now you know how typical batiks are made. This is the process that's, we'll say, old as time, but pretty close. They are coming out with a lot of new and creative things in batiks. I would say that Riley Blake is generally at the forefront, although the namesake of today's show is a Windham one. But this happens to be a sample from Riley Blake. And this is really very cool, because you can see the stripe. Now, I know that this is a traditionally made batik because it's the same on both the front and the back. And look at how just cool that is. You can get textures and colors in batiks that you really can't get anywhere else. And so in this case, this is an example of a couple of different iterations for the dyeing, because when you look at this fabric, you can see that there are stripes. If you look kind of behind the flowers here, there are different stripes that would have been made in the traditional batik method, dyeing the fabric first to get this base layer of color, and then putting wax where you don't want the new dye, and then putting some new dyes on. And so that was done, but on, I guess, on top of all of that are these beautiful florals. So you can see just how just the depth of design and color can come from batiks. So like I said, this is a Riley Blake one. Another thing that you might see, and I don't have a great example of this because there's not a ton of them out there, but it is something that you want to look for, is a combination of batik and screen printing. And so what it might look like is something like this, where you have these stripes behind, but then there is a layer of florals or a layer of some kind of print in the forefront that doesn't transfer over to the back side. And so you could see that, where it's not the same on the front and the back, but you're like, oh, that still looks like a batik. It still feels like a batik. They're starting to do some really creative, unique things with batiks nowadays. So just know that you can get lots of different variety in there. Let's see here. Oh, and Kathy's talking about the, I didn't check the comments for just a second, but Kathy's talking about a Club Gotham member. And yes, and I can guarantee you it'll be an even better value now that we've got, we're bringing things over to to the online store. So be sure to check that out. Be sure, if you are watching us and you haven't yet subscribed to our newsletter, now is an amazing time, because as we get these fabulous things over, we'll be doing little fun things like that. So, hey, Carol, a big fan of Batiks. They are just a special. You have to let me know, Carol, in the comments why you love working with Batiks so much. So let me talk a little bit about the new batik. And this was a technique that I hadn't seen before until this fabric. But this one is this is the belle of the ball. This is the reason that we're all here. This is a fabric called Daydream Acid Wash. And so you saw the batik from before. I'm gonna open. I think, you know what? I think this orange one is probably going to be the best example, but we've got lots of different colors for this. This one, you can tell, it's a little more organic. It doesn't have quite the same feel as something like this guy here, where you could tell that there's a print. You could tell that it looks very much like a stamp, for example. This one is made in very much the same way, in that the fabric is hand dyed. And then on top of that, there is a fabric safe acid that pulls away some of that color and gives it a much more natural feel to that. Now, this line is beautiful. I took off the red and the pink here, so I'll add that back in so you can see this gorgeous rainbow. But this is called Daydream Acid Wash, and this is from a company called Windham. I'm going to throw that QR code, so if you want to check out this kind of batik specifically. This is a true batik. It's got that tighter weave. It's hand dyed. It is made in Indonesia, in Bali, and it qualifies for that coupon too. So if you like this Daydream, go ahead and pick that up, and you can see all these colors. I'll go through those a little bit closer in just a second here. But you can see just the lovely texture that's here. You can also see how a variety of colors, light to dark. And this fabric is what inspired the quilt behind me. So I'm going to go through this fabric, and then I'll show you that in a little bit more detail. So here we've got some really beautiful colors across the rainbow here. And they all have different levels of that acid wash. I think the orange is probably the most pronounced, just based on how that came out. But there are some really lovely natural colors too. Here, let's do this. I'll make you a little bit bigger. There we go. Now you can see those a little closer up. And there we go. I think these blues and greens are probably some of my favorite. The blues have that really nice oceany, where the orange, you can see it's got a little bit of white behind it. The blues just turned out so beautiful. They just look like bubbles a little bit. So if you're looking for something a little more subtle, a little more nature driven, we've got this guy for you. Look at all these colors. And here we are into the neutrals. Lovely. And then this guy, this one right here, makes such a fabulous background. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to find good background colors in batiks. Oftentimes they tend to go a little bit yellow, which I think is probably just the nature of it. But here we are. So we can, oops, there we go. We're back to that guy. So these are the Daydream Acid Wash Batiks, and you can see like little natural, and you can kind of see that dragon tail behind me here. That is what inspired our newest kit, and that is the Dragon Dream. So I'll put the pattern over here. We'll try to straighten that up, and I'm just going to scooch to the side so you can see how cute and lovely this dreaming dragon is. And you could tell that we were inspired by the natural acid washed swirl. It looked a little bit like scales to us, or like a nice sweet scale of this beautiful dreaming dragon. So we do have this kit available. The pattern is by Apples and Beavers, and she is a lovely designer out of Canada. She's got a lot of really cute stuff. Now, I highly encourage you. You could get very cute with this, and I should have looked at this before. I'm not sure if there's some examples of other things that you can do with this, but there is some different color blocks, and you can use this to color your page. If you are getting the kit, the pattern is included in the kit. It's going to include all the fabric for the top, for that cute top, and the binding. And we'll get this out here so you can see just what's included. All of the different fabrics that you're going to need, and then this fun stripe, also a batik, is going to be the binding there. So there you are. I just want to make sure I made it through all of my, I made it through all my batik fun facts. So that is all about batiks. Now, as you've watched, I give you a couple of different examples of batiks. We have the more printed one. This is a fun one, but I'm sure you've often seen ones with beautiful flowers like this guy over here. So tell me in the comments, what kind of batik is more your style? Is it more of the kind of gentle, natural, more organic acid wash? Or do you like the florals? Batiks are known for florals and tropical themes. Or something a little more bold and out there. All of them are great. It's like I say, it's a great way to bring some color into your project. Batiks are really known for their vibrancy and their bright, vibrant colors. Although they're, like I say, they're doing some amazing things with batiks. So we've seen some great things with some more subtle ones. Be sure to check out the website. We've got, about 200 different batiks out there. I just showed you a small little sampling, but we've got about 200 different bolts of batiks out there and pre-cuts from batiks. Do check out the I've got it right there already. Do check out the Dragon Dreams kit. It's at a very reasonable price. The quilt finishes at 40 inches by 50 inches. So it's a really nice, fun, easy sew up, and just a cute one to sew up for someone, or it actually makes a great wall hanging too. I love the dragons. So with that, don't forget Batik 2026. It's on the website. Oh, nice. Producer Ken added it. I told you he made all the magic happen. And we do have some happy birthdays to you. So, and Sandra is loving the acid wash. It is kind of cool. And it reminds me a little bit of the 80s. Acid wash jeans, acid wash batik. They're both awesome. So thank you so much for joining us. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot about the housekeeping. Let's do that really quickly here. Let's see that. There we go. Oh, and if you want an easy place to shop all the batiks, there you are. The QR code will bring you right to our website. Or if you're already on your mobile device, you'll just go to gothamquilts.com, fabric, batiks, and there they all are. Let's see here. The only thing I wanted to remind you of is, well, two things. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter, like I say, we're starting to port all of these items over to the Gotham site. And so it is just going to be a flurry of new things coming in. Be sure to sign up for that newsletter so that you'll be notified when these items go live. And if you want to offer like a little special thing or a little discount, I'm sure you wouldn't turn that down, right? But the only housekeeping item that I wanted to remind you of is our collage quilting virtual retreat is coming up soonish. It's going to be sooner than you think. That is the weekend of March 20th. It is a weekend event, virtual, joined from the privacy and the comfort of your own house. And it is a great way to either learn more about or get introduced to collage quilting. It is a whole community of people who are, excited about sewing together. And and you'll get access to the community where we have how-to videos. If you are brand new to collage quilting, it'll be a great place to start. Collage quilting is really kind of fun. It's like the best parts of applique. A lot of it is left raw edge. It's mostly for, I would say these are not, well, they could be usable quilts, but generally speaking, collage quilting is more for a thing, a wall hanging, a decorative thing. And so you can get really involved with this. It's so easy and so very forgiving. Collage quilting, it should be a lot of fun that weekend. Again, March 20th, you can sign up there. So with that, I thank you so much for joining us. It has been a blast talking to you or talking with you about batiks. I hope maybe this has taught you something you didn't know. If you learned anything from the fun facts, do let me know in the comments here. But thanks for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel. That's going to be Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern. Don't forget the coupon Batik 2026. It's on the website. So if you don't remember the name, you could just find it there. And that's good through Thursday, January 29th at, we'll call it 11 Eastern since we're giving you times at Eastern. 11 Eastern, midnight Central. So thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next time. And a very happy birthday to producer Ken.